They're sitting second, and if they can win tonight, depending on results, they can go top of the table.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot to play for. We played them probably a month ago, and they're a big solid side. They had a couple out that day, but I think if they're going to get home tonight, Jet Karam, he's probably their best player with the ball in hand, and if their big fellas can go forward and get them rolling, I think he might do some real damage from the back there.
Now we do finally have our third member of the commentary team on board, making his debut tonight. Former Campbelltown City opponent for Narellan, played for the West Tigers, West Magpies and North Queensland. Shannon Gallant, welcome to the coverage. Turn that one down, that's the one we're after. There we go. Let's try that a little bit more. I'll work a bit better. Still ironing out those gremlins in the system here at Arana Park tonight. We'll soldier on for the time being. Just quickly, just get into the Cashier for the time being. Yeah, there we go, that'll work better. Shannon, how do you see this one playing out tonight?
Mate, I think it's going to be a cracking game, to be honest. I played Campbelltown City early in the year. Hadn't got to play against Picton yet, but I think Campbelltown City have got some really good plays there. Liam Fulton's built a good side there. The fullbacks, that Jet is quite a good player, and they're dangerous up the middle. So I think it's going to be a good game.
It looks like there's not a bad crowd rolling in here too, Mick. It's probably on par with the Tigers-Titans game last night that we were at. With a few hundred here, but all the old boys have formed a tunnel there for the guys to run through, which is always nice for the current players to see some old faces there that have been around over the years gone by, and it's good to see them making the effort to come back and support the club. So they'll definitely have something to play for here tonight, the City boys.
Yeah, mate. I think all the old boys coming back is definitely good. Alex Melville's really building something at the club. Like we were talking about earlier, it's a club on the up, and nights like tonight are definitely good for not only Campbelltown City but Picton. Get a few people out there watching them, and like I said, it should be a great game.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the competition as a whole, Shannon, after coming back from playing at such a high level? The standard of the footy out here, is it what you expected?
Yeah, mate, it's definitely tough. There's a lot more spaces, I suppose, for the quicker guys, but once they get hold of you out here in public. So, mate, I really enjoyed it. I think the level of competition is definitely growing. I was here in 2012 or 13, I think it was about 2013, and just since then it's definitely gotten a lot better. There's a lot more so it's I definitely think it's a competition on the up.
Okay, we're just about ready for first grade. We can tell you the two teams have taken to the field. We'll work off the teams listed in the program during the week. For Campbelltown City, Jet Karam at fullback, Steve Garley on the wing, along with Joe Piatto, Josh Burke and Ahia Kohanui back in the centres. Joe Karam 5'8", Cole Edwards is half. The forward pack, Ross, Matty Leafy, Ryan Russell, Aaron Sweeney in jersey 14. The back row, PJ Leafy, Kurt Austin and Matt Jones for coach Liam Fulton. For the Picton Magpies, their side tonight, Michael Lett at fullback, Eric Everett and Matt Dengate on the wings, Sean Archer and Alex Canham in the centres. Bryce Hoskins 5'8", Tim Dengate is half. And the forward pack, let's try, there we go. Okay, I think that's...
The forward pack for Picton is Billy Carroll and Zach McGuinness in the front row, and Anthony Provost at 9. Aaron Blackshaw and Alex Peters in the back row, and Ethan Whittington locking the scrum. So it's almost the same size as took the field last week against Selmere. So this is going to be a good game.
Just briefly, boys, a selection and a margin.
Mate, this is a tough one, actually. So I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to have to go where my loyalties lie. I was a junior Kangaroo, so I'm going to go Campbelltown City by 8.
Okay. Sutton?
I was thinking the same margin. I was thinking about 10 or 12 City. I think this is really the night Picton have to stand up, but I think City's got too much to play for.
Okay, we're underway. We're in the second tackle of the evening. Picton running right to left as we look at it, defending the Leagues Club end of the ground. Campbelltown City in a retro gold with blue hoops on their jersey, a very smart jersey, and the Magpies in there predominantly white with the black V as Provost comes to the left-hand side, finds Billy Carroll who runs into a wall of the blue and gold. They stop him 12 metres short of halfway. He'll play it now. In fact, that was the centre in Cannon taking it forward as now the kick comes downfield from Campbelltown City's opponents in Picton as Joey Piata. In fact, that's Steve Fayagari trying to beat the first and beat the second. Can't get through the line. He'll play it 25 metres out from his own line in centre field. We've only had a minute in the first half for John Stonham & Co. Lawyers, City and Picton, and no score on the board as yet as we see the Kangaroos working to the left-hand side. That looks like the front rower there. Ross Marty Leafy taking it forward. He'll play it 3 metres short of halfway. I'll come back from Russell on the left-hand side. Good ball, Kyle Edwards found a support runner on the outside but couldn't break through the line. And he'll play it 2 metres inside Picton territory. That'll be tackle 4 in the count. As they come back to the right-hand side, there's Matty Jones, a former Rooster now in the Campbelltown City colours. He'll play it 8 metres inside Picton territory on the last. Arm goes up from our referee as it comes back for the kick now from Jai Karam. That's a wobbling mongrel kick, and that's been knocked forward, I think, by Campbelltown City, but it won't matter. Picton come up with it, and we've got a turnover for Picton, and we've had a minute 55 in the first half. No scores yet. City and Picton, Saturday night footy on MSR.
Yeah, that's two a set each there, with probably a couple of wobbly kicks from both sides that they wouldn't be happy with. But I think I'd like to see Aaron Sweeney get involved early here. He's a big bloke with heaps of experience. He really needs to try and assert himself through the middle of the field here early on.
As we see Picton spinning it wide on the left-hand side, an opportunity for them 30 metres out from their own line. And they're now playing it 15 short of halfway. And the first penalty of the evening goes the way of the visitors tonight in the black and white. And our whistleblower... okay, we'll fix that up. Just some technical issues to address for the time being. But the kick will find touch just inside the Campbelltown City half. As we see Campbelltown City having to defend here.
Alex Peters off the tap there. He's always first to put his hand up, old Alex. He's been a good forward in Group 6 for a long time and plays well above his weight. I'm sure they're very happy to have him back in the side this year.
He's definitely one of the toughest players I've played with, definitely for his size as well. We played in the Group 6 side a couple of years ago, and definitely plays above his weight. Definitely he earns the respect of his teammates each time he goes out there and he puts his body on the line.
Mate, he's been like that since he was 18 years old. He was at Picton in 2008 and he was only an 18-year-old kid, and he'd come on and he was doing that back then. He's definitely no respect for his body, that's for sure.
Can't teach ticker.
That's right. And that's the City winger. He's just on the 25 now. He's quick play the ball. They're getting a bit of a roll on here, City, with their quick men coming in and doing some work. I'd still like to see some big bodies in the middle, just trying to send a message to the Picton side. But they're rolling forward really well here. The back rower just made a break. He's up over the 40, and they're 35 metres out from the Picton line. The fourth tackle, Sweeney's going to the line out the back. Tackled on the 30 now. That's the last.
Okay, I think we've addressed our issues for the time being, so we're seeing Campbelltown City with possession on the last. Kyle Edwards puts up the kick, not the best looking kick, but it'll find grass, and Michael Lett takes it 2 metres out from his own line. We've had 4.5 minutes in the first half. John Stonham & Co. Lawyers scoreboard 0-0 between Campbelltown City and Picton. Nathan Sutton's comments for the Court Tavern. Best cold pour in Campbelltown, according to those who frequent the Court Tavern. Proud sponsors of Campbelltown City for many years. The Kangaroos head back to the Court Tavern on a regular basis. And we'll have our replays thanks to Dahlia's Cafe Campbelltown Mall. And our stats sheet thanks to Easy Air, proudly sponsoring the Kangaroos in 2017. As we see Campbelltown City now having to defend 30 metres out from their own line as they take it forward now. Picton 15 short of halfway, they'll play it. Out of dummy half, that's a good little run from Timmy Dengate. Chip over the top's a nice looking kick. Has to knock over Kyle Edwards to get through. Penalty Campbelltown City. Yeah, penalty to City for a push.
Definitely a push in the back there, but that was a nice little play from Dengate. But in saying that, that was a little chip kick on the halfway. I think City are really they're winning the field position at the moment. They're rolling forward really well with their big outside backs getting in and doing some work. So Picton are going to have to tighten up that middle there.
And we've got time off here. One of the looks like Michael Lett. I think we just had the 2 balls on the field for the time being. And we should also mention our referees tonight not being local referees but coming from Group 9 in the Riverina. So the Group 6 Referees Association have conducted a swap this weekend. We've sent a team of our referees down to the Riverina to officiate one of their matches, and they've sent a team up here to officiate this game tonight. And we wish all the referees the best as Campbelltown City go into touch 27 metres out from the Picton line on the Pembroke Road side of the ground.
It's a shame they didn't do that years ago, Sheansy. I would have loved to have had referees that didn't know me every week.
You're suggesting you might have had a reputation there, Mr. Sutton? Reputation might precede you. I'm sure you never had that problem, Shannon, in your career.
Mate, no comment.
There's no friends up here in the commentary box, mate, I'll tell you for nothing. As we see Picton with possession. We've finally got everything in order, I think, about 30 metres out from the Picton line. We're finally up and running here. Saturday night footy on MSR, nearly 7 gone first half.
The 3 for Picton, Sheansy. Sean Orchard, I'm not familiar with him. I don't know if he's a signing that's happened this week.
I can't say I know a lot about him either, so I can't provide a lot of information on his background.
I think Campbelltown City have definitely come out firing, haven't they? They've put the pressure on Picton early, and they're showing it both in defence and attack.
As we see Picton with it 2 metres short of halfway, comes back from Provost for the kick from Hoskins. It's a high midfield bomb. Camping under that's a higher Kohanui, does a good job. In fact, he puts it down. Picton get the ball. 6 more tackles for the Magpies. Here's a chance for Matty Dingate inside the quarter. First real chance for the Magpies. 12 metres out from the line. Here we go. Hoskin at first receiver, fires a long ball out wide for Canham. Wasn't the right option. These 4 blue and gold shirts there to wrap him up. 5 metres out, 8 in from touch on this western side of the ground. We've got a City player down, and he has not moved. He's in a bad way.
I think that come at a good time for the City side there. That bloke being injured there, because I think they were in a bit of trouble there. But that's just how little things can turn the game there. City seemed well on top and just one fumble there, and Picton are going to have a chance to go in early here.
As we see the trainers out on the field for both sides.
I think Campbelltown City were quite lucky that they threw the long ball there. If they had just gone through the hands, I think Picton were a lot better chance of scoring the try. The long ball's giving them the defence time to slide. So
yeah, I think you're right.
We're back underway here at Arana Park. Big Billy Carroll crashes over beside the uprights. He's in the big front rower. The security guard forced his way in and said, "I'm coming through." 4 points to nil. Campbelltown City trails Picton on the John Stoneman Co. Lawyers scoreboard, and we've had 8 minutes in the first half.
He run a really good line there, Billy. Just he picked his mark, and he just committed to it and went straight through the hole. He scored first last week too, under the sticks. Billy's a try-scoring machine at the moment.
You read my mind.
He didn't look too excited after. I thought he must have already been off the nude run.
Yes. You read my mind, so a try-scoring machine, Big Billy Carroll, as he rolls over from close range.
That's exactly where you want your front rower scoring tries, mate, under the post.
Certainly do. Makes the conversion attempt nice and easy for Anthony Provost, the experienced number 9 for the Magpies. And he'll be looking to add the extras and make it 6 points to nil on the John Stoneman Co. Lawyers scoreboard after 9 minutes in the first half. And that really came on the back of that error from Kohunui down here on the last tackle. That really led to the opportunity for Picton to score points, and they certainly capitalised on that, as we see Provost duly convert the extras, makes it 6-0 in favour of Picton over Campbelltown City for John Stoneman Co. Lawyers, Group 6 League Live on MSR.
That was definitely against the run of play. City have had all the field position and probably all the running so far, but they just got to forget about that now and go back to doing what they were doing before.
I'm sure that would have been spoken about in the huddle then too, not to get their heads down. I mean, they're definitely on top of this game. One error.
Yeah, that's right.
As we see the restart now, Picton taking it from their own line, and that looks like the try scorer in Carroll taking it forward 10, 12, 14 metres out from his own line before being monstered back. Aaron Sweeney drives back the front rower As we see, that looks like it could be young Zach McInnes taking it forward, the front rower, or the back rower playing in the front row. He'll play at 24 out from his own line out of dummy half. That's a good run. They'll make 10 or 12 metres there, and they'll play at 15 short of halfway. That was Provost out of dummy half going for a scoot. Now Hoskins in at first receiver. Dengate finds a runner. That's a good ball on the inside, but they can't break through the line. They'll play at 9 short of halfway. That looks like Aaron Blackshaw taking it forward. Provost out of dummy half, keeping it alive. Finds Tim Dengate, probing, trying to find a way through. There's 2 and 3 blue and gold shirts there to wrap him up, including Kyle Edwards. Plays at a metre inside Campbelltown City territory on the last. Comes back to Hoskin for the kick. He's going to have to run around and then put it on the right boot. Send it downfield, and that's easily taken by Jet Karam. 10 out from his own line. Runs into the wall of black and white. Only makes 10 metres. He's knocked down right on his quarter. 20 in from touch on the western side of the ground. Out of dummy half goes Steve Fagali for a good scoot. Take some pressure off the forwards.
Both sides are really compressed in defence. You can see like the Matt Dengates, he's 20 metres in from touch. So I can see Jet Karam having a look at that later, and with a little shift on, could be a bit of a problem both sides. With Michael Lett on the other side, Picton could be doing the same thing, but penalties just piggyback City out of trouble here, and they'll be on the attack after this kick for touch.
As we see the kick find the line pretty well on halfway, just a couple of metres inside the Picton half, so the Magpies having to defend here. Campbelltown City, a full set of 6 at their disposal. Ryan Russell takes it from the tap, gives it off. Eventually Aaron Sweeney whacked 3, 4 of them there to put him to ground. Can't make any real progress forward. As we see Russell out of dummy half, he'll go for a scoot, makes 10 metres. Knocked down by his opposite Anthony Provost and one other there. Jones out of dummy half, fires it out wide. There's Kyle Edwards at second receiver, tried to take on the defensive line, couldn't get through. Knocked down 40 metres out, 20 in from touch on the western side of the ground. Nearly 12 minutes gone in the first half. 4-0 Picton leads for John Stonham and Co-Lawyers. In fact, it's 6-0 as we see. Looked like a lost ball there from Picton. Picton to get the scrum feed. Campbelltown City, in fact, he's ruled a knock-on from Picton. So City get the lead off, and it'll be... No, he's ruled a Picton scrum feed, has he? So yes. Signal's confusing everybody there, but it looks like a Picton scrum feed. 32 out from their own line, 20 in from touch on the western side.
I think Picton's energy levels have picked up a bit in defence in the last couple of minutes. They started a bit ordinary with their intensity in defence, but their line speed's got better and their contact's been good in the last couple of sets, so maybe they're getting right into their work now.
And a penalty off the scrum win for Picton, a differential no less. I think the last time we had one of those, Sutton, was when you broke early in the 1990s.
I never broke early. I went to scrums for rest.
I was going to say, you wouldn't be able to break early, would you?
In the 90s, I was in the backs.
As we see the kick find touch, 38 metres out from the Picton attacking line. Here's a chance for the Magpies. The tap taken by Canham, given off. Alex Peters charges into the line, can't break through, knocked down 30 metres out, 10 in from touch. Here's a chance for the Magpies. Peters not happy with the ruling from the referee. As it goes across now, Zach McInnes can't break through the line, 2 and 3 there to stop him. Knocked down 28 metres out. Provost gives it off to Billy Carroll. Ball playing out for Tim Dengate. Spins out of one. Can't break through the second. Knocked down 22 metres out. They've got numbers to the left-hand side here, the Magpies. That's the way they go. Carroll back on the inside ball. A little bit of a stutter step. Popped it out the back, the big front rower. Found his lock forward in Ethan Whittington. Pulled down 18 metres out. That'll be tackle 4 in the set. They'll come back to the left-hand side now. Hoskins. Crossfield finds Alex Peters trying to break through the line. Can he get the ball away, AP? He might not need to. 3 metres, 2 metres out when he's pulled down on the last. Here's a big chance for the Magpies. Can they put more points on? Nearly 14 minutes gone. Provost out the back. Hoskins. That was a shocking kick from Bryce Hoskins. Aimed it for the right hand upright, but only found a Campbelltown City defender who swept up easily and took the ball 8 metres out from his own line.
I think the message has got to go out to City here. They've got to just hang tight and get in the grind with Picton, because if they go to sleep for 10 minutes and Picton get 2 or 3 tries, I think the game will be gone.
Yeah, definitely get back to winning 100. They started well winning the 100. Let's play some footy down there. And
as we see the Kangaroos now with it 35-36 metres out from their own line. You heard Shannon, Gallant and Nathan Sutton. I'm Mike Shean. This is Group 6 League live on MSR, MacArthurSportsRadio.com. The MacArthur's home for Rugby League. That looks like Matty Dengate taking it 20 out from his own line. And he makes 12 metres, 15 in from touch, just over the painted numbers on the eastern side of the ground. As we see Alex Canham going for a run, zigzagging cross field. Can't get through. Eventually Matt Jones knocks him down 8 metres short of halfway. It's Matt Dengate for Hoskins. Now that looks like a front rower taking it forward. McInnes, he'll play it 2 short of halfway. Slow play the ball, led out of dummy half, finds Tim Dengate. Turns it back on the inside for Blackshaw, and they get the penalty, the Magpies. Getting the rub of the green with the whistle already. 4-1 the count in favour of the Magpies tonight.
And that was a soft penalty. That could have been let go. It's a 4th tackle penalty, and there was really nothing to that, I didn't think. But he's calling someone out for caution here.
Got a little bit of Sweeney and Provost just having a little bit of a disagreement there.
That wouldn't be Sweeney getting cautioned. I've never heard of that.
I think he needs to do less talking and more running.
That sounds like a former fullback I know that would really get through a game without being cautioned for dissent. 40 metres out, the penalty given to Picton for a high tackle.
Take it from me, Sweeney, they don't listen.
As we see the kick find touch, Anthony Provost only makes about 10 metres on his kick there, and he'll play it now. They'll take the tap 30 metres out. Sean Orchard with the tap. Now Tim Dengate gives it off. There's Aaron Blackshaw, 3rd time around. We'll get it right. Blackshaw plays it 25 metres out, 20 in from touch on the Pembroke Road side of the ground. They come back to the open side left. There's Hoskin at first receiver. Now Michael Lett threatening to be dangerous. Slides it out for Alex Canham. He loses 3 or 4 metres. Knocked down 28 metres out. 10 in from touch western side. Led into dummy half. Fires it off to Alex Peters, who slips at the key moment. Matt Jones takes him easily. And he'll play it 25 out. Hoskins at first receiver. Poor ball for Dengate. Picked it up beautifully on his bootstraps. Did a great job to pick that up. Popped it out to Billy Carroll on the right-hand side. No room through there. And he'll be stopped 23 metres out. That'll be tackle 4. And the big front row plays it. Provost dummy half. There's the lock forward in Whittington taking it forward. Good run from Ethan Whittington. He'll play it 15 metres out. Arm goes up last tackle. We'll come back to the right-hand side for the kick. Dengate doesn't kick, keeps it alive. Michael Lett chiming in from fullback, and there's a nice ball there for Sean Orchard to score on the right-hand side, and it's 10 points to 0 on the John Stoneman Co. Lawyers scoreboard. We've had nearly 17 minutes in the first half.
Good try, that's class there from Michael Lett, and Dengate. He goes right to the line, Timmy Dengate. The difference between their right and left-hand side in attack's really noticeable from up here, because Bryce Hoskins is playing the ball. He's ball playing a long way from the defensive line, and Timmy's driving right into it. And I think the left-hand side for the City defence are going to have to be real aware of that.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely attracts the defence into him, and it causes the overlap. And they did really well there. Michael Lett, great offload there to get that last pass and get the try. So yeah, Picton looking good now.
And just a quick NRL update, 22 minutes gone, I think that says 22 minutes gone. It's Canberra 12, Brisbane 10. The Broncos have just gone in to score 12-10 with a kick to come in favour of Canberra down in the capital.
Good to see Michael Bullock down there without the brace on his knee too. Sheansy, he didn't look real good last week.
No.
But he seems to be moving around all right.
Hopefully he'll be back in the next couple of weeks is what I'm hearing.
No, I hope not, but anyway.
Well,
no, he's still got the brace on, that's good.
Yeah. I'll let you share the news of a late week signing for the Magpies.
I did hear today that Robbie Payne has signed for the Picton Magpies. So we have to get some confirmation with that. But
well, I was talking to the man concerned as we see Provost add the extras. It's now 12-0 after 18 and a quarter minutes.
So that's been confirmed, Sheansy?
Well, he didn't deny it. He didn't deny it.
Okay, well, that's definitely going to stiffen Picton's third grade pack up.
I tell you what, I'll give Paney this. He's a good sport. He can take a good roasting, which he gets from just about everybody.
He was a really good player too 30 years ago.
I think they chuck really good retirement parties, so he keeps coming back so he can have the retirement party again, I think.
And that's coming from 2 retired footballers. That's rich. I can safely say I never laced up the boot in anger, so
I can say that I can say that he'd be stiff in the middle. Like I know he's nearly 40 years old, but he wouldn't let anyone down.
No, certainly not. I know we joke about it. And I said to him beforehand, I hope he got through the first hit up. couple of years back.
It'll be Monday and Tuesday that he's feeling, I'll tell you.
Don't you think there's enough penalties in Group 6 already? Do we need more with Robbie Payne coming back into the fold?
It might take a bit of heat off Sweeney.
Behave yourself, boys. Behave yourself as we see Campbelltown City with an attacking opportunity here. Here's a higher Kohanui. Look to get the ball back on the inside there. 15 metres out, 10 in from touch on the western side of the ground. Jet Karam finds Josh Burke, taking it up the middle. Good run from Burke. He's only 5 metres out when he plays it. He's 15 in from touch on the western side. Comes back. There's Jai Karam finding Aaron Sweeney. Hit and spin. Can't pop the ball out the back. Sweeney knocked down 10 metres out. Sweeney to play it up.
He's got to get up.
Very slow play the ball. Russell out of dummy half. There's Jai Karam. Kyle Edwards finding half a gap. Got the ball away. It was a very flat ball, but found a runner on the outside. Only 10 metres out. They've gone laterally. Haven't made any ground. Kyle Edwards finds Ross Marty Leafy. Matty Leafy takes it forward. He's only 5 metres out. 5 to the left of the uprights. Arm goes up. Last tackle. What's the option here? Kyle Edwards. Jai Karam. Out the back for Jet Karam. A higher call. Hanui for the corner. Got there. Nice try, Campbelltown City. Kohanui on the right-hand side. 20 and a half gone. It's 12-4 for John Stonham and co-lawyers. That was nice.
Really well constructed play there. They looked really sharp there. They all did their job, and he scored that untouched.
I think they benefit from young Dengate there slipping over, created the overlap there, and there was some great footy, good passing, and good finish too.
That was a nice piece of play down the right-hand side on the back of that penalty, and Liam Fulton down on the touchline. You know him very well, Shannon. He'd be. He doesn't look like the sort of man who gets overly flustered with things not going his way. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person. He seems very composed and calm.
Yeah, mate, he's high on life. He just loves it. Really, he does. It's no big deal to him, to be honest. I've never seen him, even in pressure moments, get flustered. So he's just one of those characters.
I think this is a good change now. They're putting Aaron's coming off, and just a bit of speed in the legs is going to help them through the middle there.
I think that's Richard Morrell coming on in the 15.
He's punched out 22 minutes. That's not bad going from the big fella.
Yeah, certainly a solid effort as we see Jet Karam lining up the conversion attempt. He'll be about 24, 25 metres out. Only a couple of metres in from touch on the western side of the ground.
I'll tell you, this Jet Karam's only 19-year-old, 18, 19-year-old, I've been told. I watched the Tigers 20s play yesterday, and I find it very hard to believe someone like him wouldn't be playing 20s.
Yeah, mate, I've played against him. We've got Robbie Payne down on the sideline dressed in the number 15 here.
The conversion attempt is away to the right-hand side.
Stop it.
Score remains 12-4.
I thought I was a Ghostbuster and the Marshmallow Man walked in.
You're going to get me in a lot of trouble tonight, Sutton.
Don't stretch that, Paney.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect that. I tell ya.
No. Well. That's all I got for now. I wonder how much training he's been doing.
I'd suggest he's done a lot of training down. Yes. I was going to suggest something similar.
I bet he's asked him for the black outfit.
Let's get back to the football, boys, before we get completely thrown off the air. 20 metres out, Campbelltown City taking it forward. Matt Jones. Good run there from Jones, but driven back in a good two-man tackle. 17 minutes to half-time. Picton leads at 12-4 for John Stonham and co-lawyers. This is Saturday Night Footy Group 6 League live on MSR. Mike Shean, Nathan Sutton, Shannon Gallant with you tonight. Tomorrow we're off to DCO, the Oaks and Campton. That's a big game as we see Campbelltown City put it down at the key moment. The error 32 metres out in centre field.
Just back to that Jet Karam. I played against him earlier in the year, mate. He was one that really stuck out to me. I even spoke to Liam Fulton about him after the game. He was real dangerous in the middle. Being a fullback myself, I like the plays up the middle, and I thought he did that really well, and he got good speed, and he was really strong for him.
Yeah, that's what strikes me about. Like I'm pretty sure he played ball last year, which means he'd still have another year in 20s next year.
Yeah.
Like if he's playing good first grade footy now at 19 years of age, like he surely there's got to be some sort of future there, or someone looking at him. You would think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always people watching. All he can do is just go out there and play his best footy each week. So, and from what I've seen, he's doing that. So yeah, good on him.
As we see Picton on the attack inside the Campbelltown City quarter, 15:50 remaining in the first half. They're up 12-4 for John Stonham and co-lawyers. As we see Campbelltown City having to defend Billy Carroll on the right-hand side. Found a nice ball for Zach McGuinness. Couldn't break through the line. He's lost it in the tackle. So there's a let-off there from Picton. And Campbelltown City get the scrum, 10 out, 20 in, western side.
I thought he'd called City knock on there for a second. I thought,
I think he ruled a double knock on, but the first from Picton. So City get let off the hook.
Here it comes. Here it comes. I've just seen him being handed the card, Sheansy.
Yeah, along with the 14, which is James Porter.
We've got me a cup of water here. Looks like T-Rex is shaking.
I'm going to have to control you two tonight. This is going to be a long night at the office, folks. I'll tell you that much.
I know, it's going to be a longer night for Payne.
Joey Piatto plays at 18 metres out, getting back to the football. Russell out of dummy half. Finds Morell, I think it is in the 15. Takes it forward over the quarter. He'll play at 22 out, 20 in. Russell finds Matt Jones, a workhorse there, Matty Jones. Only knows one way, and that's straight and hard, and all night long he plays. As we see Kyle Edwards firing it out to the left-hand side. Karam nearly got through the line. Pulled down 15 short of halfway. Russell out of dummy half. Edwards keeping it alive on the left-hand side. Good run here from Campbelltown City. They'll play at 6 metres inside Picton territory. That's the last. Arm goes up. Edwards with the crossfield spiral torpedo bomb. Good luck with that one. Anyone going back. Michael lets it bounce inside the in-goal. There's a wall of blue and gold coming. When he breaks through the line, Michael Lett. Great run from the fullback, plays it 11 metres out in centre field. He had no right to get through there. Somehow he forced his way into the field of play and made 11 metres. As we see the Magpies up towards their quarter. This has been a free-flowing game of football tonight. Porter on in 14, Payne on in 15 for the Magpies. As we see the Magpies with it 22 metres out from their own line.
Michael Lett's made a career of that. He honestly has. Looks like he's in trouble in all sorts and just pulls something out of nothing. He really does.
He just glides across the field, doesn't he? He's a lot quicker than he looks.
As we see Payne take it forward. Good run from Robbie Payne. Makes 10 or 12 metres on the first run. Calling for a penalty. Plays it 7 short of halfway on the last. Provis gets a kick away under pressure. Only finds Jet Karam 15 out from his own line. Takes it forward another 15 metres. Good run from the number 1. He looks like a real prospect in the next couple of years, Jet Karam.
I know we've had a bit of a joke with Payne, but that run he's had just then, he's probably done no training at all for the last 6 months, and he's just made 15 metres, found his front, quick play the ball. He's just a footballer.
Yep, only knows one way to play it. As we see Aaron Russell out of dummy half inside Picton territory, makes 15 metres. Good run there from the number 9. He'll play at 15 inside the Picton half. Good run out of dummy half. That looks like Joey Piatto. He looks like a real prospect, Piatto. Up to the quarter on the last. Russell fires it off. That's a sloppy ball. They'll need to get a kick on it. They can't. As Orcher comes up with it. Dengate fires it out to the right-hand side. Found his winger in Eric Everett. And City have come up with it one-on-one, but there's been a knock on there in the process. As we see a Picton player coming off... I'm just trying to pick up...
Ethan Whittington. I think it's his calf.
Okay, this doesn't look good, and I think it's... Dwayne Duke going on in jersey 16 for the Magpies.
On that, is it Joey Piatto?
Yeah.
He was at West Romessy Cup at the start of the year, and I haven't been burnt by too many players in my time, but I gave him a bit of space at training and left me for dead. Absolute lightning fast, really quick, really strong. He just couldn't get to training. That was the only reason he sort of come back out to Group 6. And mate, he's a real prospect. He really is.
Only young bloke?
Yeah, he's only young too. So just really, really powerful and got great speed.
What positions he playing? He's right wing.
Right wing. And I've called him a couple of times. He looks like a real prospect. He's got speed to burn, as you said, Shannon. Just got speed to burn, and he's looking for the football every time.
Mate, in footy these days, speed's everything. You can't coach against it.
No, you can't, and that's probably one of the blessings for Campbelltown City, that he has that natural speed. As we see Michael Lett almost lifted above the horizontal, half an appeal for a penalty, but the referee not buying there as Provost takes it from dummy half. Dengate gives it across. There's Blackshaw taking it forward, the former Lion. Now Magpie plays at 48. In fact, he's got a penalty, has he? Yes, not releasing in the tackle.
This is a massive set of 6 for City. I think the next try score in this game is going to be massive for the game. They're at 12-4, they're right in this City, but I just think if Picton can stick their noses in front now just before half time, it's going to be really telling in the second half.
We see Picton with it 30 metres out as Blackshaw takes it forward once again, makes 10 or 12 metres. Good run there from the back rower. He'll play at 18 metres out. Provost, Dengate, that's Tim. Inside for Payne. Good run from the front rower. Plays it 11 metres, 12 metres out. Fighting for a quick play the ball. Plays it now. Comes out to Dengate at first receiver, then Hoskins out the back for Michael Lett. Wasn't the best ball. Found Alex Canham instead. Canham going laterally. Can't find a way through this City defence for the time being. Pulled down 12 metres out in front of the black dot at the northern end of the ground. Duke at dummy half. Now Dengate calling for it, directing traffic. Gets knocked over as he gets the kick away, but that was all legal and forced in goal. Repeat set, line drop out.
Yeah, good play, Tim Dengate. That's just it's not panicking. Fourth tackle. He saw an opportunity for a repeat set. Good kick.
It's all about building pressure, isn't it? And that's what they're doing here now. Just a repeat set, grind it out. Just keep the pressure on, and the tries will come.
That's right. I reckon they'll go to the middle here, and then they're going to hit Dengate again down the right hand side.
Let's see whether that comes true or not as we see the drop out from under the post. They're going to go the short option here, so they may not get the repeat set. In fact, it'll fall the way of Campbelltown City, so it's paid off this time.
I was wrong, Jamesy.
First time for everything, Sutton, as we see the Kangaroos working it out of their own quarter. That was, I picked that as soon as he lined up for the dropout that he was going to go short, and it paid off. They got the result they wanted. And Campbelltown City now with possession 25 metres out from their own line in centre field.
It was probably a good time to do that because I don't think they could have really defended another set on their line there because Picton looked pretty good. And we've seen the Dogs do that a bit this year and not work that often.
As we see the 15 for Campbelltown City taking it forward. I think that's Morrell taking it forward. He'll play it 8 short of halfway, comes to the right-hand side. Fired out wide and the ball's been put down by Piardo. Dropped his head for a moment. Picton have it 3 metres inside Campbelltown City territory. Full set of 6 at their disposal. There's Alex Peters taking it forward. 2 and 3 blue and gold shirts there to stop him. Right on the NRL logo as Porter takes it forward. He looks like a real prospect. James Porter, as he's driven back in a good 3-man tackle.
He's still eligible for under 18s too. James Porter. He's only a kid, only 17-year-old.
He's a very exciting prospect as we see Blackshaw taking it forward, runs into Matt Jones and one other over the top. 8 metres inside Campbelltown City's half. Provost out of dummy half. They've got to watch him. Ryan Russell didn't fall for it. The old 3-card trick. The 2 number 9s were awake for it. 33 metres out when he plays it now. Comes to the right-hand side. Hoskins for Dengate. Out the back. That's a sloppy pass again from Dengate. Finds Orcher, who's headed for the touchline. Gets it back on the inside for Eric Everett. Plays it 39 metres out. As we see the kick now on the last from Dengate. Up it goes, under pressure. Not the best kick ever. Jet Karam coming forward. Takes it nicely. 22 metres out. Alex Peters says, whack! Get that in here, son.
Courageous take.
Oh, big hit there from Alex Peters on Jet Karam. And that was a dangerous tackle there from Alex Peters. I think it was Peters?
Yeah. I think it was still pumping from the fall.
The penalty given to Campbelltown City, clearly a dangerous tackle. And
mate, if I was the boys here, the Campbelltown City boys, I'd be giving Jet a pat on the back here. That was a great take there, under pressure.
You would have seen him coming too.
You would have heard him, no doubt.
You would have heard the footsteps. And it is daunting. And now you've been there more than the rest of us. When you hear the footsteps coming in, your eyes on the ball, what is going through your mind when you're camped under it?
Mate, you definitely hear him, but full focus is definitely on that ball, and you just brace for impact. That's basically all it is. So we don't get the looked after like the halves do when they're kicking. They're not allowed to touch the halves when they kick. We're looking up into the sky and we don't know what's coming, but we love it. So that's all.
And as we see Matt Jones with it, 7 metres inside Picton territory. Peters looks like he's in a bit of trouble out here on the right hand side. Keep an eye on that as we see Campbelltown City trying to mount an attack here. Only 5 or 6 metres inside Picton territory, down to 6.5 left in the first half for John Stonham and Co-Lawyers. Saturday night footy on MSR. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Mike Shean, Nathan Sutton, Shannon Gallant with you for the call from Arana Park tonight. There's Ryan Russell up the middle out of dummy half. Good run. Makes 12 metres, 28 metres out on the last. Comes to the right-hand side for the kick. Jai Karam on the left boot, up it goes, crossfield kick, not a bad looking effort, lets it bounce. Campbelltown City trying to win possession, it's come off a Picton player and the referee's going to say It's a turnover out of all of that.
There was a knock on for City there. He knocked it back.
I think it was when I'm assuming the referee's ruled as he's knocked back that it's gone forward.
And I would have given that to Campbelltown City. He's knocked it back into a Picton player who's then knocked it on.
And that's twice Letty's let the ball bounce, actually.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly doesn't look as confident as he normally is, Michael Lett, tonight. He certainly doesn't have the confidence that he usually does at the back.
I don't know if he's carrying an injury, but he was very quiet last week too. Like he's not. But I suppose if he's not playing behind the forward pack he has for the last couple of years either.
No, that's exactly true. Right. They've sweeped him around the back a few times here, and it's just not working. The ball's hit the ground, but it only takes one thing for Letty to spark up. So they've got to keep their eye on him all game.
5 and 20 to go in the first half. 12-4 Campbelltown City trials. Picton. Robbie Payne takes it forward. Good run from the veteran again. He'll play at 8 metres short of halfway. There's Dwayne Duke taking it forward over the halfway. Pops it out the back for Anthony Provost. Good run from the number 9 over the 40 up towards the 30. He'll play at 32, 31 metres out when he's eventually stopped and backslammed into the turf. Last tackle arm goes up. He'll play at 30 metres out. Comes back to the left-hand side. Hoskins, dab kick. Joe Piatto lets it come off the chest. Play on the call from the referee. He says that was all right. And Piatto has it 15 metres out from his own line, just to the right of centre field.
Here comes Aaron Sweeney again. I've got to tell you, he could take a leaf out of Payne's book. Just get your leg speed up and run hard. Because he's going to the line trying to pass it, Sweeney. Just do what Payne's doing. He's making 15 metres every time he runs.
Just take it forward, don't try and...
Here he goes.
He'll take it forward. There's a good run from Sweeney. Didn't try and pop it out the back, and there's 3 and 4 there to stop him. He's 12 metres short, 11 metres short of halfway when he's eventually wrestled to ground. Russell out of dummy half. There's Kyle Edwards with a flat ball. That was a Ward 4B special. Out the back to 6 more for Campbelltown City. Wow, 6 more tackles there. I thought it surely went forward. Referees found otherwise. Campbelltown City with a full set at their disposal. That's a 0 tackle as they take it over halfway now. That's a good run there from the second row in. That's not Kurt Austin. That must be PJ Leafy with it in the 12. As they go to the right-hand side, there's Sweeney once again. This time doesn't try and beat the line. He'll play at 41 metres out. Russell at dummy half. There's Jai Karam finding Austin. Austin, good run up the middle, finds it 30 metres out, 20 in from touch. Russell out of dummy half, goes himself, good run, Ryan Russell. Makes 10, 11, 12 metres, plays at 18 metres out. They get a quick play the ball, Jet Karam out of dummy half, he's over! They won't catch him. Somebody slipped over at marker, Michael Lett no less. Cops a little bit of treatment from the City players, but Jet Karam under the post, 12-8 kick to come, 3:15 to the break.
This game's quite quick. In the ruck there, Campbelltown City are getting quite a few quick play the balls, as to a Picton, so it's very quick. I think the only slow play the balls we're getting so far is from Sweeney. If he can get to his front, he attracts those defenders.
I'm just watching him. He's not squaring up at the line. He's sort of drifting.
Yeah.
Where
looking for that offload.
Where Payne's trying to punch him behind the ruck, and I think he's isolating defenders one-on-one and finding his front with a quick player ball. I think Aaron, don't worry about trying to be a ball player. You've got other guys that can do that for you. You're the big body to get them going forward early in your sets.
Sweeney definitely likes to attract those 3 or 4 defenders in and try to get an offload out, which is okay.
If you get them on,
that's right, exactly.
But Picton, they're not tackling his legs; they're straight on the ball.
As we see the conversion attempt, Jet Karam already inked this one in 10 metres out directly in front.
That's a massive play just before half time.
That is a huge play in the context of the match. 2 minutes to go in the first half. 12-8 for John Stonham and co-lawyers. About to be 12 points to 10.
And looking at them, at the back end of this game, I think City's probably going to have more in their legs. Like if this speed keeps up, they're a younger, fitter side. I think Picton will be nervous.
Good vision by Jet there to take that from dummy half, and good footwork too. So he's definitely a prospect. I've got high raps on this kid.
No, he certainly looks like a talent. Played for the Razorbacks in the under-23s country championships this year, and was certainly not the worst on ground. Did pick up an injury in that game, but while he was out there, he was very impressive. As we tick down 90 seconds to half-time, John Stonham and co-lawyers scoreboard. Picton 12, Campbelltown City 10. Saturday night footy only on MSR. Your home for rugby league in the MacArthur.
If you're speaking to Jet again, just see what sort of freight he's on at City, will you?
As we see the restart from Anthony Provost now. It's a high kick taken, and the Kangaroos bring it forward up to over the 20. That's a good run there, 22, 23 metres on the first run. They'll play it 23 metres out from their own line. They go to the right-hand side approaching half-time. That's another good run upfield. Here's a good chance for Campbelltown City to take the lead before half-time. They're 40 metres out on the attack. Down to 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Comes out to Kohanui on the right-hand side. Can he break through the line? No, he can't. Pulled down 22 metres out. Austin in at dummy half. Goes back to the left-hand side. Finds Jai Cramp now. Aaron Sweeney keeps it alive for Matt Jones. Jones pinballs out of one, still going 22 metres out, 21 out on when he plays it now. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Russell for Sweeney. Sweeney pops it out the back for Jet Karam. Jet Karam nearly through the line. He's only 10 or 12 metres out from the line. In fact, he's only going to be 8 metres out when he's eventually stopped. 15 seconds to go. Last tackle in the set. Last tackle of the half, you would think. Comes back and across. Jet Karam. Ohio Kohanui out wide. Tries a little stutter step. Pops it back on the inside. Kurt Austin. Quick hands. Jai Karam puts a little grubber kick into the in goal. Michael Lett bats it dead. Takes the safety option as the siren sounds in the background.
Cut out passes, man.
Mate, I think they just taught it from a young age just to go for that Hail Mary. It's just attract the defenders, tip onto your teammates. It's the first thing we learn is just catch pass. If we catch pass there, I think they get them. But it's just the long pass gives the defence time to just slide on it.
With the winger out here with such good footwork and speed, you want to give him one-on-one.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, it's half-time, boys. Have a breather here at Arana Park. You know it better as Campbelltown Stadium. It's half-time. Picton 12, Campbelltown City 10 is the score. We'll take a breather when we come back, the half-time wrap. This is Group 6 League Live, only on MacArthurSportsRadio.com. That's right, half-time on Group 6 League Live, MacArthurSportsRadio.com, and Picton leads Campbelltown City 12 points to 10. Mike Shean, Nathan Sutton and Shannon Gallant with you for the half-time wrap. Boys, what have we made of the opening 40 minutes? Picton really did dominate the opening 20-25 minutes, but Campbelltown City found their way back and nearly got in front on the half-time siren.
Yeah, City have really impressed me late in that half. Picton were on top there for probably 30 minutes, and I think the young legs of the City boys got them back in front, or nearly back in front there towards the end of the half. I think the interchanges from Picton helped them when Payne came on. He's been solid considering he hasn't really done a lot of training and that, but I think the early scorers in this second half is going to be really important here, because I think the young legs of the City boys is going to take its toll late in the half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think Picton's one of those sides you have to really weather the storm. You come out in that first 20, you weather it, you don't let them get too far ahead, you can really come home, because there's some old legs in that side. And Campbelltown City are definitely a younger team, fitter team. But I think Picton will come out in the second half firing. But if Campbelltown City can weather that storm again, I think they can run away with it.
That's what I was going to ask. That younger Campbelltown City side, especially with the young pack, do you think they can get over the top of Picton in the second half, especially late in that second half, and maybe get a bit of momentum coming into the back end of the game?
Yeah, I don't think it's so much they got to get over the Picton pack. I think they just got to hold the pack, and the big outside backs the City have got with their big frames and fast legs. Like we just saw off the kick-off there, their centre went through the middle of the ruck, and I don't think the forwards have got to worry about trying to bash Picton. Just hold your own, and I think the backs will do the job for them.
I think the ruck speed is going to definitely be a big factor. Campbelltown City have had some good ruck speed, quick play the balls, and that's what's going to hurt Picton. So if they can keep that good ruck speed, get to their front, quick play the balls, that'll go well. That'll go far to win in this game for them.
And Picton, they're in front, but they're only just holding on. This is a different game to what we saw 2 weeks ago down at Victoria Park. Conditions obviously a dry, fast night for football, allowing the backs to do their thing. Picton, I mean, they can't hold on to a 2-point lead for 40 minutes, but they need to just keep doing what they're doing.
I think you're right. I think the Picton sides of old go on with the game from here, but I think this is a new look Picton side with a lot of injuries, and I think the longer that City are right with them, the more nervous Picton will get, and I think you'll find a few errors creep in late in the game. If City are right there ready to take them, I think they'll get home in a tight one.
I think a side that's got Michael Lett in it, you're never satisfied. Even if you're 20 up, anything can happen. It only takes one sniff for Michael Lett and he'll put a hat trick on. So I think they just got to really weather that storm and watch out for guys like Michael Lett, because anything can swing this game. So.
And I think Liam Fulton will be saying exactly what you've just said then to the boys right now. He'll know exactly what Michael Lett's capable of. who their danger players are. Tim Dengate's another one. If you just relax for a second, he can hurt you. But I think he'll be really reinforcing that to the boys now.
Okay, we'll take a break. There's a half-time wrap. When we come back, the second half. This is Group 6 League Live on MacArthurSportsRadio.com.
Don't forget to check us out online. Just search Group 6 League Live on Facebook.
That's right, that's where you can find Group 6 Rugby League all season long is Group 6 League Live on Facebook. We're back underway for the second half. Campbelltown City trails at 12 points to 10 for John Stonham & Co. Lawyers. I'm Mike Shean, Shannon, Gallant and Nathan Sutton with you for the call tonight as we see Campbelltown City taking it forward from the restart. That's Marungi in the 20 shirt taking it forward for the Kangaroos. He'll play it 8 short of halfway. Comes to the left-hand side, a little dab kick from Jet Karam. Steve Fayargali charging onto it. Back on the inside. Kyle Edwards, can he get the ball away? He might not need to. He's beaten 3-4. Pops it out the back. Fayargali drops it behind him. Picton come up with it. 25 out from their own line. We've only had a minute in the second half. It's all action here at Arana Park tonight. Wow, what a start to the second half. Campbelltown City just working out. Jai Karam looked like he was just going to run a simple little kick through on the last, but he decided to go with the dab kick through the Flintstone kick, and it worked wonders for the Kangaroos. It nearly resulted in a try. As we see the restart now, we see the penalty fine touch right on halfway.
Yeah, winger was probably a little bit too deep there, I think. It gave the Campbelltown City winger time to get to that footy.
As we see Picton with it now. That's the second rower there in Aaron Blackshaw playing it 8 metres inside Campbelltown City territory. James Porter taking it forward. He looks like a bit of a prospect. James Porter plays it 12 metres inside Campbelltown City's half. They go to the right-hand side, the left-hand side. Payne playing it out the back for Hoskins on the bounce. Comes up for Canham. Canham can't break through the line, and he's stopped 35 metres out from the Campbelltown City line on the left-hand side. They'll come back to the open side right. There's Payne taking it forward once again. He'll play it now 25 metres out from the line, 15 in from touch on the left-hand side where we've got the full complement back in the box here as we see Dengate firing it out for Michael. Little Fred Flintstone kick couldn't break through the line. Who comes up with it? Campbelltown City do. And the Kangaroos have it 25 metres out from their own line. We've had 2.5 in the second half, no change. Picton 12, Campbelltown City 10 for John Stonham & Co. Lawyers. There's a good run upfield from the second rower there in PJ Leafy. PJ Matty Leafy taking it forward now. Aaron Sweeney up towards the 40. They're all appealing for a penalty. The ball pops out the back. It's play on from the referee and the tackle made 38 metres out. 22 in from touch on the Pembroke Road side of the ground. Now Matt Jones up the middle. Good run from the veteran lock. And he'll play it 9 short of halfway. As we see the Kangaroos, they've already had one threatening raid in the first half. There's Marungi taking it forward towards the halfway. A couple of metres short when he's stopped. Russell out of dummy half, goes for a good run, 5-6 metres, gets knocked over. Peters down low and one other over the top. That was Payne. They come back to the right-hand side on the last. Jai Karam, spiral torpedo bomb. Good luck there. That was nicely taken on the right-hand side by the winger, Matt Dengate. Did a good job under the high ball there to hold on to that one as we see the Magpies trying to bring it out of their own quarter, and they're stopped 20 metres out. We've had 3.5 in the second half, no change to the score. Still Picton 12-10 over City. The Ron Kane Memorial Shield, we haven't talked about that tonight. That's on the line for the winner of this match. And Ron Kane proudly played for the Magpies and the Kangaroos in the 70s and the 80s. And I know they're doing fundraising for motor neurone disease tonight with proceeds from gate sales and raffles and various other things going towards the Motor Neurone Disease Foundation, which is a great cause as we see Campbelltown City bringing it off their own 20. Joey Piatto taking it forward over the 30. Good run there. Plays it 32 metres out.
It's an early interchange to be having 4 minutes into the second half.
Marungi coming off for the Kangaroos. And Ross Matty Leafy with the head heavily strapped He's back on the field as we see a good run from Campbelltown City up towards halfway, over it by a metre. Russell out of dummy half, catches them sleeping, makes 15 metres. Can he pop it out the back? He can, but only finds James Porter. Campbelltown City, have they come up with it? They have, but the referee is going to say knock on from City.
There was no knock on there.
I just don't think there's no need for that. I don't think Campbelltown City building pressure beautifully, to be honest. Just that push, that last pass. I think they just need to try to get a repeat set. At worst for this set, pushing that pass, it really lets Picton off the hook here.
I don't see Picton at the moment as a team that's going to go 70 or 80 metres on you and score a try. I think the only way they're going to put points on you if you keep turning the ball over in good field position.
Referee not happy with the scrum. The ball had come out, but the referee wasn't happy with it, so they'll pack it again. 32 metres out just to the left of centre field at the northern end. We'll take an NRL update. Minute gone, second half. Canberra 16, Brisbane 14 down in the capital. And we've got the Roosters in Melbourne in Adelaide tonight at the Adelaide Oval as we see Picton trying to mount a raid down the right-hand side. There's a Campbelltown City player down in back play and he hasn't moved.
I think the Picton player dropped the ball there too.
I think that was after the incident, but this Campbelltown City player has not moved.
Looked like he copped the shoulder of his own teammate there.
I was following the play. I didn't see what happened there, but that was not a... He's not moved. It's either Burke or... It's not Matt Jones, so it's Josh Burke who's down and has gone straight down face first into the turf and has not moved.
This three, the centre, Sean Orcher. He looks pretty solid actually. He definitely didn't play last week. I'd say he's been a signing this week, or
he's come up through the grades.
He's not a reserve grade, I wouldn't think, Mick.
Well, I haven't seen him, so I don't know his background. I haven't had a chance to speak to anybody from Picton to find out what his story is, but I certainly don't know his background, so I can't help you with any information on that count. But the Kangaroos right now not worried about Sean Orchard, but worried about Josh Burke, who's still face down on the turf, 32 metres out from the Picton line, and he'd only be about 6 or 7 metres in on this western side of the ground. And it looks like
feeling his legs. Hopefully it's not a neck injury.
Yes, well
no, he's getting up now. Steve Hazelton went out and got him up quick, smart.
Every precaution being taken, even at Group 6 level, and Josh Burke not in the best of health right now. He's very groggy on his feet. He's Josh Burke only just came back from injury in the last couple of weeks, but he's not in a good way right now, Josh Burke, and I think the smart money will say that he'll come off for he's coming off now.
He's in Disneyland, isn't he?
Yeah, he's certainly in a sick and sorry state, and they're going to make a change straight away. I think it's Dallas Greco coming on in jersey 18, who has played a lot of first grade, so he's certainly no loss to the Kangaroos having him on the park.
That'll be a bit of a shuffle there for them, because he's very solid in defence, Josh Burke, on that left edge.
Yeah, but Greco's a known winger and centre, so they won't... I've seen him play on the wing many times, and he certainly won't let them down. I think it'll just mean that Fayogali moves in one into the centres and Greco pushes onto the wing, as we see the 16 there for Picton. That's Thorne taking it forward. He'll play it 5 short of halfway. As they go out of dummy half, Hoskin on the Dengate on the right hand side, keeping it alive. There's a nice ball for Orcher. Orcher with the dummy, sold it beautifully, found it, babies are us, and they will score in the right hand corner here. Picton through Eric Everett. That was a nice try down the right hand side, and that all came out of nothing. It's 16 points to 10 for John Stonham and Co-Lures with the kick to come, and we've had 6.5 in the second half.
He's only been off not even a minute, and they've gone straight down that edge and scored a try. They burnt that half there. Already missing him. Josh Burke.
You can guarantee they wouldn't have scored that try if he's still there. Yeah. But that's smart play from Picton to ask a few questions earlier, the new players that have played that's going on, but that's a big try early in the second half. I think if City had scored first, it would have really lifted them, but they're going to have to get back in the grind now.
As we see the conversion attempts now from Anthony Provost
Big kick, this one.
This is a massive kick, 25, 26 metres out. Only a metre or two in on this western side of the ground.
If there was a kicker in Group 6 I'd want to kick for me, it'd be him.
This is the one.
Yeah, he's
I
a very
have no
good kicker.
hesitation.
Wouldn't pick me.
You played it beautifully. Played it a treat, Gallant.
I didn't get to see you have many shots against us.
Played that well, mate. Well done. Nicely played that one.
I must admit, when you were kicking for Massey a couple of years ago and I was coming and watching you, you'd get the hard ones and you'd miss a couple in front.
Mate, there's no pressure from the sideline.
Anthony Provost, I don't know if he's feeling any pressure, about 25 metres out, maybe 2 or 3 metres in on this western side of the ground to give the Magpies an 8-point lead. In the context of the match, it's a big lead. That is beautiful. Has it got the legs? Yes. It was right down the middle. It just had to carry the crossbar, and it did. So Picton 18, Campbelltown City 10, John Stollerman Co-Lawyers scoreboard.
He's made you look good there, Sutto. He's made you look real good. Good choice. Good boy. You can have him. You don't need me.
I'll have you can score tries, you can kick goals.
As we see the Magpies now out by 8. That's a big lead in the context of this game, an 8-point margin right now. That is a big effort to be 8 in front early in the second half. And they'll be appreciating that margin right now as we see them get back underway. I think that's Porter taking it forward on the first. And he'll play at 15 out from his own line. They come back to the left-hand side. There's Michael Lett taking it up the middle. We were joking before about Robbie Payne, but the experience that he brings to this side, you can see him, he's going to take the hit up now, but just the experience that he brings, he pops it out the back. That's a good ball out the back. I think that's the 16 there in Thorne taking it forward, but just the experience that Robbie brings to this Picton side. They've got a very young side this year. They've lost a lot of experience, and just to have him out there would be a massive benefit.
Well, he not only will his hit-ups be, but he'll talk well. Like he's been around at the top level for a long time. He's very experienced, and he'll just know what to say to him and when to calm him down. And as much as it's probably killing me to say, he'll actually be a good acquisition to them, because he will be good for them, especially with the injuries they've got.
I think in games like tonight too, where it's a close contest, really the experienced players that's where they need to stand up. And someone like him, who's been around for years, he will really stand up here, and he has so far with the good hit ups and quick play balls.
You can see him talking to the boys then, like especially with Letty and that in the back, and Payne just taking charge of the middle, and it probably frees up Bork as well when he comes back to probably play more of a game where he's worried about himself and not trying to coach the team, because you've got Payne there taking some of the heat for him as well.
He still needs a larger jersey though. Yeah, I'll talk him up, but he needs a larger jersey.
And a black one with vertical stripes.
As we see Picton with it 35 metres out, there was an error from Campbelltown City on the back of the run, and here's Michael Lett charging for the line. Aaron Sweeney can't grab him and pull him down, and Michael Lett is over. 2 tries in quick succession for the Magpies, and it's now 22 points to 10 on the John Stollerman Co-Lawyers scoreboard. 29 and a half minutes remaining in this one.
Michael Lett strikes again.
Right at the right time too. That could just about put the game to bed, I reckon. I know there's a long way to go, but 14 points in front, Picton, they not often would lose from there.
They very rarely get run down from that far in front, with even though there's still half an hour remaining, but you rarely see the Magpies get run down from 14 in front. And Anthony Provost lining up the conversion attempt from directly or just beside the left-hand upright. And he'll add this one to make it 4 from 4 this evening for the number 9, and just seeing him back on the park after the dramas of last year, we won't go into that, but just seeing him back on the park and playing good footy again, that's been probably the most pleasing aspect for everybody.
Yeah, well, we all know what happened last year with him and Twisty, but they were eventually allowed to play in the grand final after the dramas, but look, good players. It would have been silly for him to miss it. I think, did Twisty miss it? I think Twisty did.
I don't think he did.
No,
I don't think he did.
Yeah. But anyway, common sense prevailed.
Let's focus on 2017. They've been a good addition to the club as we see Provost add the extras from directly in front. 24-10 the score.
I've just had a text from Matty French with some details on it.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't. Calm down, Jeezy.
No, with you anything's possible, so who knows?
Jesus.
With you anything's possible, Soto. As we see,
He's a very good player, Provo, and
yes.
Unfortunately, with you look at the forward packs, the front rows they've lost from last year. Benson Tupou, Kenny Avolo. There's another one that's gone as well.
There was, and I can't think.
Jason Thompson.
Yes.
He's such a good player. Going forward like they did last year, he was almost unstoppable. Provo. But he's got to work a bit harder this year. The new forward pack there, but they're still getting the job done at the moment.
They certainly are. They're 40 metres out at the moment, the Magpies. Thorne taking it forward for them. Provost down at dummy half, finds Dengate. Dengate back on the inside. Good ball there for the centre in Sean Orcher. And Orcher plays it about 4 or 5 metres short of halfway. Slow play the ball out of dummy half. Provost takes them on, goes himself, can't break through the line. Pulled down 5 inside Campbelltown City territory there by scoreboard shows it doesn't, but I think it's 14 at the moment as the kick goes up from Bryce Hoskin. Not the worst kick, and I think that's been is that going to be a knock on? I think it is, yes. Knock on from Campbelltown City. Dallas Greco, the offender there.
He didn't look comfortable under that at all, did he?
No, he didn't. And as the back on the team, what's it like when you know you're not having the best day out there and you see the high ball coming and you're thinking, uh-oh.
You get into your markers and your front rowers to put kick pressure on. Don't let him get it to me. I mean, it's tough because you feel sorry for your forwards when you make an error like that, and they've got to now defend again. But plenty of practice, mate. You practice, and those things won't happen.
He didn't look like he was ever going to catch that.
No, he didn't. As we see Picton on the attack once again. That's Orcher out on the right hand side, popping it out for Eric Everett for the corner. I don't think he got there. I think the touch judge is going to have a chat. Is he going to give it? He's going to give it. That's a try to the Magpies. Eric Everett in the corner. I didn't think he got there live.
He scored that in the first row of the grandstand. Wow.
That was, yes. I thought that was certainly not.
Didn't want to go to the bunker, obviously.
Oh, I would have sent that one upstairs every day.
That's just broken the back, I think.
Again down this right edge. So definitely Josh Burke being off is definitely hurting Campbelltown City, that's for sure.
Yeah, it certainly is. And just looking at Berkey down on the bench, I don't think he'll be returning anytime soon. He's not looking in a very well state.
They may put a score on here now. I think the message has got to go out to City now to just forget that. And with 25 minutes to go, it's 16 points, 3 tries. Like, momentum can shift in the game pretty quickly, but they got to earn that first.
Shean, is it too late to change my prediction?
The bandwagon. He's climbing aboard. Provost with the conversion attempt, 25 metres out.
I'm backing him in again here.
Yeah, I'd be laying long odds that he'd miss this one. So 28-10 is the scoreline. This to make it a 20-point margin. As we see Provost take his time. Moves into it now. Kick is on its way. That is a beautiful kick. Oh, off the left hand, upright and out.
Again, it comes back to that weathering that Picton storm. I don't think Campbelltown City have done a real good job. I mean, losing Josh Burke's definitely hurt them, but they just haven't weathered that storm, and Picton are now going to get run on with it, I think.
A turning point in that half. The first 4 minutes after half-time, City are on top. They pushed a pass on the 40 there.
Yep, exactly.
From there, Picton scored, and they've been on top.
It's gone from there. 3 converted tries. I know it's a psychological thing. 3 converted tries in front. If City can get one, say, in the next 5-10 minutes, 15 to go, what does that do from a mental point of view? If you can get back to 2 converted tries behind, how hard is it to get that mental, psychological side of it? You know you've got the skills to do it, but the psychological aspect.
I mean, it's definitely tough, but anything's possible. Picton have just put on 3 tries in not long, so We know Campbelltown City have got him in him, but it's definitely a tough task because obviously Picton will lift as well in defence.
I think the young side that we were talking up that was going to help City in the first half may, being the young side looking up at the scoreboard, being 18 points down now, they've probably dropped their heads, I would say. That's where you need the older guys to sort of pull them in.
Unless they played in the under-20s, because you could score 50 in 20 minutes.
Was it Cronulla and the Tigers the other week?
84-6.
Yeah, 84-6 or something, yeah.
And the Tigers led 6-0.
Yeah, that was probably 6-0 at half-time.
That's right.
Oh, you're killing me, Sutton. Seriously, you're killing me. That's Nathan Sutton. I'm Mike Shean. Shannon, Gallant in the middle. This is Group 6 League Live, MacArthurSportsRadio.com. Hope you're enjoying the coverage tonight. Tomorrow, Dudley Chesham Oval, the Oaks and Camden. That'll be a good one from 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. As we see Campbelltown City from the scrum win. Tried to milk the penalty there, but the referee not buying. As we see Edwards out of dummy half to Ross Matty Leafy. That's more like it. That's a good run from the front row up to the 20. Plays it 21 out. Edwards. In fact, it was Russell finding Aaron Sweeney. Sweeney looked to get the ball away. Still going, Aaron Sweeney. Still fighting. Finds it 5 metres out when he's eventually knocked down. He'll play it 5 in from touch on the right-hand side. That's a shocking ball for Matt Jones. And Billy Carroll puts it down, and it'll be a scrum feed to Campbelltown City. 10 out, just to the left of the uprights.
I know you got excited with that run from Sweeney there, but that error, that took him out. I guarantee you they've practiced what they did there for training 30 times last week, and I guarantee you Sweeney was never getting tackled 5 metres in from touch on that play.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's busted his trying. I think someone's just got to get in his ear and just say, screw it. I'd just be Xing him up. Just turn him under.
So just playing a straighter line.
Yep.
Drop him under and have him coming back in.
As we see the winger there, that's Joey Piatto.
Look, Payne and Sweeney got each other. Look out.
Oh, here we go. The old boys are out again. Keep an eye on that. I'll follow the play.
Triceratops and the Stegosaurus.
Stop the game. Let this go on.
Oh, hang on. I think we've got a penalty to Picton.
Sweeney.
Out of all of this, I followed the play, so I didn't see what happened. You're following it more than me. Another 10 metres for descent.
There was not a lot in it. There was just a lot of grabbing.
I didn't think where Sweeney needs to definitely pull. He's got to pull back a bit here. He starts losing a bit of control, so they're going to need him to hang tough here.
I guarantee you, Payne has this hit up.
Oh, he'll be taking.
I'll be very upset with him if he doesn't.
He'll be putting his hand up for this one. Let me run at him, Skip. And here he is taking it forward. Aaron Sweeney went chasing for him.
And I'm telling you now, that's what your teammates look for.
Yeah.
As Payne plays it 40 metres out, only a couple of metres in from touch.
Sweeney's going to have to come off a rest. He chased him that far there.
He's got to get away from that sideline.
Tim Dengate takes
the
it
bench
forward.
is on this side.
8 metres short of halfway. The Magpies 20 in from touch on the Pembroke Road side of the ground. Back on the inside, Billy Carroll, good run there. Couldn't break through the line. Sweeney over the top with one
The
other.
knee in the throat. That's a special. Look, get him.
And penalty to Picton as a result, not rolling away in the tackle. And we've got time off here. 19:38 remaining.
He was laying on him there with his knee in his throat.
Oh, absolutely. He was laying all over him. No question. The penalty was there.
Looks like Sweeney's been sent, I think, for 10.
Has he been?
Or is he time
No,
out?
he's just called time off.
Sorry, I just jumped to conclusions when it comes to Sweeney. If I'm Liam Fulton here, I think I'm taking him off anyway.
He doesn't need to do it. Like, it's madness. He's just piggybacked them down the whole field here with 2 penalties.
You can see the referee talking to Michael Lett and Kurt Austin, the 2 captains, along with Billy Carroll and Aaron Sweeney, as we mentioned. You can see Lett frustrated with what the referee's saying here. The penalty is going to go to the Magpies, though, for a high.
Payne's about to come off, but it's been a good stint by him. He should be he should be happy with that.
No, I'd be very happy with that as Zach McInnes comes back on.
I'm going to give him a ring Monday and ask him how he's feeling.
He's still asleep, mate. He won't pick up.
As we see the Magpies with it 39 metres out from the Campbelltown City line. Is a good attacking chance for them. McInnes takes it. In fact, that's Blackshaw taking forward on the first. 31 metres out, 15 in from touch on the western side of the ground. Provost goes to the left. Now there's McInnes taking it forward. He'll play it 25 out in centre field. As we see the Magpies on the attack once again. Billy Carroll out the back. Hoskins finds a runner on the outside. That's Jacob Safford in the 17. He'll play it 18 metres out from the line. They'll come back to the right-hand side. They're stacked deep and wide to the right. They come that way now. Dengate directing traffic. Double cut still going. Dengate lost the ball in the tackle. Referee's going to say knock on. So there's the opportunity that Campbelltown City needed.
Do you see again how far into the line Timmy plays? And then the tackle before, Bryce was playing 10 metres before the line. It's different styles, obviously, but it's definitely more effective the further into the line you go.
They look a lot more dangerous when he's got that foot in his hand, taking the line on.
And it's not a surprise for anybody. It's been doing that for a couple of years now. It's not like he's suddenly discovered that he can run and play the ball. He's been doing it for several seasons, as we see Campbelltown City making a good run out of the scrum win. They're calling for a quick penalty, calling for a play the ball. A quick play the ball, and it wasn't coming as they work it over the 30. There's a good run upfield. They've made 15, 20 metres in 2 runs as they come out of dummy half now. There's a good run upfield from the Kangaroos up towards halfway.
What would Fulton be saying to Sweeney now?
Oh, you wouldn't say too much. You're not going to get through to him, I don't think. When he's that fired up, you just let him be, let him cool down, I think.
We've got time
that
off
did
here.
not look good at all.
Got time off here for an injury. 17:42 remaining here at Arana Park tonight.
Look out, he's blowing up on the bench here.
That's exactly what I'm talking about there.
And I think a few of the Picton boys have had a few choice words in his ear as he rolled past.
The crowd's into him.
Anyone and everyone,
He's done some time for jumping the fence. It must have been a big fence.
As we
Strong fence.
Campbelltown City on the attack, 42 metres out.
Did he go over it or through it?
There's 16, I think that's Tucker taking it forward. There's Edwards at first receiver. Good run, Kyle Edwards got the ball away to young Matty Leaf. He popped it out the back. The ball's still in play, and now it's gone over the touchline, and Picton will have a scrum feed. No, it'll be a turnover. 30 metres out, 10 in from touch on the western side of the ground. 17:03 remaining in this one. Picton leads at 28-10. As we see, I think they've actually, Sweeney's actually headed up the tunnel. He's not even on.
He's down there.
He's down there?
28-10. I've just received a message from Brown. He wanted to know the score.
Okay.
28-10. So how you going, Chris? How's the foot, mate?
Nice to know you're listening in, Chris. We might catch you out at DCA tomorrow afternoon as we see Provost taking it forward. Zach McInnes rolls up, takes another 5 or 10 metres, plays it 5 short of halfway. Provost for Lett, for Hoskins, for Whittington, through the hands. There's Canham taking it forward, trying to find a way through the line. Always looks like he's trying to go across field, Alex Canham, when he makes his first move. And Anthony Provost up the middle. That's a better run from the number 9. Takes it straight up the middle, and he'll play it 35 metres out from the Campbelltown City line. They come back to the right-hand side. Hoskin finds Dengate, turns it back on the inside. Billy Carroll couldn't get the ball away, had the arm free, couldn't get unload though. 30 metres out on the last. Hoskin turns it back. Provost kicks. That's not a bad looking kick. Jet Karam camps under that, takes it nicely 9 metres out from his own line. Gets driven back a couple of metres for his efforts.
He's really stood up, Billy Carroll, this year with all them blokes leaving. He was excellent last week. He's been excellent again tonight. I think Picton would be really happy with his form.
Now they'd be delighted with what the big number 8's produced so far in 2017. And I know, Sarah, we caused a lot of consternation last year with our Team of the Year. We'll have to put our thinking caps on again in the coming weeks as we see a chance for Campbelltown City. Fayadali. Surely he was held without the ball, sir. The penalty comes.
If he just held it down himself, he's away. That's a 10 minute. That should have been 10 minutes.
Surely that's a professional foul and a sin bin.
He didn't need to pass that. That was a good break though by the number. Was a winger, was it number 2?
Faragali. We see the Kangaroos on the attack, 28-10 the score, 15 to go in this one. As we see the Kangaroos on the attack, 20 metres out. That looks like the 16. I think there's been a jumper change.
Reece Tucker, that is.
That's Reece Tucker in 16, is it? He'll play at 15, 13 metres out. Russell out of dummy half. Edwards fires it out. Jai Karam. That's a long ball on the bounce. Kohinoui can't pick it up. He can get it on the second effort. They've still got the ball. Campbelltown City inside the quarter they go. 18 metres out when they play it now. That'll be tackle 3 in the set. They've lost all the momentum though. Comes back to the left-hand side. Jai Karam with a little stutter step, can't get through the line. Still going, Jai Karam beats one, can't eventually crack the line 10 metres out. He'll play it right under the northern end post. Ryan Russell out of dummy half, still going. Good run from the number 9. Can he pop it out the back? No, he can't. He's still fighting, only 2 metres out.
4 on 3 down the short.
Last tackle, Matt Jones goes himself, little grubber kick into the in goal, forces it. That's a try to Matt Jones. Lovely play from the number 13. Is this the comeback? 28-14, 13:55 to go.
Yeah, smart play by little Matty Jones. He's played a lot of hooker, so he's quite smart out of there. He showed a fair bit of experience to score that try, and they needed it right then too.
Yeah, I think Tim Dengate can definitely, he can count his blessings. He's still on the field for now, so I thought that might have been a good penalty. He gave away then if they didn't score the try, but luckily for Campbelltown City they got over, and still a bit of time here. They can definitely come back into this game.
Their outside backs are causing all sorts of problems around the ruck when they're getting in and scooting. They've done that all night, though. I think they need to probably, for the next 15 minutes, 13 minutes, they really need to go back to that, trying to make some yards and getting on the front foot with their outside men, because I think the Picton side's just controlled their big guys pretty easy up the middle.
As we see the conversion attempt from Jet Karam, it'll only be 13 metres out, 22 in from touch on this western side of the ground, on the eastern side rather, Pembroke Road side of the ground, to make it a 12-point margin with 12:40 to go. To say it's a big kick in the context of the match is an understatement. He duly adds the extras. He's 2 from 3 tonight, and 28-16 is the score with 12 and a half remaining for John Stonham and co-lawyers.
I think Campbelltown City don't play too much catch-up footy here. Just do what's been working for you. Try to win that 100, and the tries will come. If they start, they've thrown a few offloads that have gone to ground and caused turnovers. If they start that, I don't think that'll help them. They've just got to continue playing footy.
Well, the next 5 minutes, that's what they got to do. I think they got to complete their sets, try and play for some field position, and see where they're at with like 5 or 6 minutes to go.
I was about to say, how long do you wait? You've got 12 minutes, 2 converted tries. How long have you got before you start thinking we have to score? Basically now, as we see City taking it forward up to the 20 on the first run, how long do you leave it before you start looking at the clock?
Well, they're looking at the clock now, but their decision, they're not chipping in their own half yet. You know what I mean? They're completing. You can score 2 tries in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
but
there's an error here from Campbelltown City, 30 out. And again, they're patting the back of Tim Dengate and a couple of the others 30 metres out. The Magpies have it, 11 and a half to go, 28-16 the score for John Stonham and co-lawyers. Bradley bringing you tonight's action. Group 6 League live on MacArthurSportsRadio.com. Hope you're enjoying it from Arana Park tonight. Tomorrow, Dudley Chesham Oval, the Oaks and Camden is our feature match from 2 o'clock next weekend. We're all having a lazy Sunday morning with a sleep in and maybe a coffee and a Sunday paper.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit hit and miss this year, isn't it? We playing a couple, have a week off. So we play next week, and then we play another 2 and have another week off.
Yeah, we've got next weekend off, and then 2 in a row, and then another weekend off. And then the charge to the finals, the final 4 weeks. Tim Dengate coming through the line, pops it on the outside. Aaron Blackshaw's over for the Magpies. I think that just about ices it.
That's great footy from Tim Dengate there. Just experience, just plays at his own pace, I think. That's been coming for a little while. He's been going to that line. The Shango got him through there and just held the fullback up and tipped on. That was class footy from him there.
He's been the best player on the field, Tim Dengate, and he was probably their best last week too against us. He's stronger than he looks, and when he's got blokes hitting holes off outside him, he's a really good player. I was just about to say, Picton's mindset now would be, with 10 minutes to go,
one more?
No, well, we complete 5 sets, we win. That's the mindset, but they've scored now, so they'll probably look to score another one.
I can vouch for Tim Dengate being stronger than he looks. We played him in the major semi in 2013. I ran at him off a kick return. I ran at the front row the next time. Let me tell you, they're a hit. He's very strong.
They're renowned for having halves that can hit. Bryce Poisel was the same.
That's right, yes. going back not too many years.
Yeah, he hit me one night. I was spitting bits of teeth out for about
3 days.
3 hours. I had the choice of Poisel, Bettle or Dowsey. I chose Poisel. It wasn't, wasn't the choice I made
well,
anymore.
I was going to say, it's the lesser of the options, isn't it? Poisel, Beetle and Douse for your options. I think I'll take option D, thanks. None of the above.
He was a really good player, Bryce.
A very good player. Last I heard playing in the city for Coogee, I think I heard. Coogee Dolphins.
So this is his first year. He was coaching last year for Picton?
Yes. Yes. As Provost adds the extras from beside the uprights. And that makes it 34 points to 16 on the John Stoneman Co. Lawyers scoreboard with 8:58 remaining.
Yeah, I'd say that's curtains now for the City boys. They probably the talk should be now, no more points, boys, and let's try and complete for the rest of the game. We don't want to. I don't think they want to get embarrassed by another couple of tries put on, but because they've been better than that, so hopefully they can just defend.
And you'd say a 3-try margin's probably about right. That's probably a fair indication. If City could get one late back to 12 points, that'd probably be about right for the night, I'd reckon.
Bearing in mind they probably could have took the lead just before half time.
Yes.
And they were probably looking the more likely team just after half time. So it's probably experience has probably been the difference, really.
As we see big Billy Carroll take it forward up to the 20. Much improved effort from the Magpies forward pack this week. They really did struggle last week against Thirlmere, but they've come out firing tonight against the Kangaroos and made a strong statement. With 8 minutes remaining, it's 34-16. Dengate turns it back on the inside. There's Jacob Safford in the 17, playing it 15 short of halfway. Arm goes up on the last tackle. Provost out of dummy half just kicks downfield. That's a nice looking kick. Faugali takes it 20 out from his own line. 10 in from touch on the western side and gets back slammed into the Irana Park turf. As we see, yes, there's that man Dengate once again making another strong tackle as we see a good run downfield. It's the far winger in Joe Piatto who's come in looking for work. He hasn't been sighted off nobbies in the second half.
That was a classic Eric Everett throw out there from the Picton number 2.
As we see,
like scoring tries, doesn't like stopping them.
We see the Kangaroos with it now. That looks like PJ Leafy with it. 12 metres inside Campbelltown City's attacking half. And a little grubber kick through, probably not the right option, but they get the penalty. They get the penalty here. I think it was obstructing the kicker or maybe the runner.
Tap and go.
Is that the way to take it? They take the tap. Kohunui runs into the wall of black and white. Gets knocked down 5 metres out from the line, 15 in from touch on the western side. 6:45 remaining. They're down by 18. 3 converted tries is the equation. Edwards out the back. Jai Karam finds Kurt Austin. Can't break through the line this time. Austin, he'll play it 8 metres out from the line. As they come back to the left-hand side. Here's PJ Leafy taking it forward once again. Can't break through the line. Pulled down 7 metres out. Russell finds Kyle Edwards. Fires a long ball out. It's been touched by Picton, so that'll be 6 more tackles. Joey Piatto goes through the middle. Can't break the line though. Pulled down 8 metres out when he plays it, just to the left of the uprights. Full set at his disposal. Russell, Jai Karam. Dummies had his brother on the outside in jet, couldn't get through the line. He'll play it now. Only about 5 or 6 metres out. Edwards, they're flat. Matt Jones can't break through the line. There's no depth in the City attacking line here. They're all very bunched and very flat. Russell goes to the left-hand side. Ross, Matty Leafy, that's more like it from the Kangaroos. Trying to break through the line, but guess who's come up with the ball? That number 7 in the black and white, Tim Dengate, has it for the Magpies. 11 metres out from his own line, down to 5:38 remaining.
That was a pretty ordinary set in attack there. They really lacked a bit of direction. When sort of the game's on the line, they need to score. They really didn't know where to go or what to do there.
And they just seemed very flat in attack as we see the Kangaroos having to defend here. 5:20 remaining, it's 34-16. But they just had they were very flat in the attacking line.
I think it just comes down to that experience. Again, knowing that when you get to situations like that, you need your experienced players to stand up, and Picton have definitely got plenty of that, but Campbelltown City, unfortunately, they don't. So, lack of experience, I think, is probably what's hurt them tonight.
Well, bear it in mind, their centre went off with 25 to go, and there was only 8 points in it at the time. So, he's one of their better players, and they scored 3 tries down his side, and they probably look to go to him in that situation there with the ball too.
He certainly would, as Fagali out of dummy half finds a runner on the outside for the Kangaroos, 31 metres out from their own line. 4.5 remaining. It's 34-16 for John Stonham and co-lawyers as we see the Kangaroos taking it forward. Joey Piatto plays it 5 short of halfway. There's Kohunui out of dummy half. He'll take it forward. Good run there from the Kangaroos. And I'll play it 39 metres out from the line. Russell out of dummy half goes for another 10. That's a good run from the number 9. He'll play it, pops it out the back for Matt Jones. That was a better ball. Now for PJ Leafy. They've got numbers on the right-hand side. They have to keep it going. Long ball out wide. The wide option was there, but it went to ground. The referee says play on. Still continuing on, Campbelltown City on the attack. Only 10 metres out from the line. Edwards comes across. PJ Leafy tries to turn it back on the inside. That's the last tackle. Picton come up with it though. And they've got it 17 metres out from their own line. 3:40 remaining. I can't see City scoring again. 34-16 they trail.
They've had some opportunities. That's their last 2 sets of 6. They've attacked the line and probably should have scored on both occasions. So they've
a penalty to City here. I don't know what happened there, but I was following the ball and all of a sudden a penalty to Campbelltown City for a push according to the referee. So
yeah, I'm not sure it's a wise decision to put Sweeney back on with 3 minutes.
Well, I noticed Robbie Payne's back on the park as well for Picton, so that probably doesn't add to the probably doesn't help the situation as the kick finds the line 10 metres out.
Good to see Sweeney going at Payne right now.
Yes.
For time's sake.
Yes, one more time for the dummies. As we see the tap taken by Ryan Russell. Gives it off to Kyle Edwards. There's, in fact, a switch ball on the inside. And Campbelltown City, are they going to get it down? I think he's got there. Yes, it's a try to Campbelltown City.
That's a pretty good play, actually.
It was a good play.
It was a nice little inside-outside play. I'll let you describe it in a moment. 34-20 with 2:38 remaining for John Stonham and co-lawyers.
Yeah, it's a shame they didn't have that structure all night. That was clearly a set play that
just looked like an inside block play. So instead of the block being on the outside of the man, he's turned back to the inside and had a lead with a sweeper out the back, and they've caught him napping.
And Jai Karam, he's strong for a young
Jai Karam, was it?
Like he had, he still had to beat Michael Lett on the line there, and like you've got to be a good player to do that.
Certainly takes a bit of talent.
It was one of the Karam brothers. I'm not sure which one.
I was
old Aaron on the long walk back to the for the restart.
Coming off the back fence, inside 2 to go, 34-20 the score.
Pretty happy with that. He's pumping his teammates up.
As we see the Kangaroos now lining up this conversion attempt, and 34-20 would be an acceptable scoreline for the Kangaroos. They'd be disappointed they didn't get the result, but 34-20. A higher Kohunui lining up the conversion attempt, the final one you would think of the match. I can only imagine that Jet Karam's picked up a knock of some sort as Kohunui sends it towards the posts, and he's got it. So 34-22 is the score with, what do we got, just over a minute remaining for John Stonham and co-lawyers.
Yeah, I think it's probably a fair result, and it probably shows the just the lacking of. I think they just lacked that little bit of experience, City, to trouble the top sides. I know they're probably going to slip out of the top 3 after this loss, and they're not far away. They're just no. It's probably.
They're building the opportunities. They're definitely creating the opportunities. It's just that experience to finish them. To take advantage of those opportunities, you got to have that little bit of experience there, make the right decisions, and that's probably what they've lacked tonight. I'll give it to them. They've definitely created plenty of opportunities.
Here's a chance down the left-hand side. Sweeney kept the ball alive. Joey Piatto to the halfway. Here comes danger in the form of Joey Piatto. Can he keep going? Yes, he can. I thought he was going to get the ball away. Fayagali still going, and he's lost the ball inside the 10. And it's been taken dead by Picton, so it'll be a line drop out. Joey Piatto's gone the best part of 90 metres, and I think he's picked up a knock in the process.
It didn't look real good, actually. I hope he's all right.
We've only got a handful of seconds remaining. The siren will sound any second.
That's the speed of Joey Piatto. It's just lightning quick.
There's the siren in the background for full time. 34-22 is the final score. Picton defeats Campbelltown City and wins the Ron Kane Memorial Shield for 2017. That was an entertaining game of rugby league, probably not the highest quality that we've ever seen here at Arana Park tonight, or Campbelltown Stadium as it's now known, but the Magpies turned on an entertaining one to win by 12 in the end.